Ken, go ahead.
Ken Kraetzer, Cam Vetsmita. Tyson, congratulations on your senior day win. It seemed like the offense was more like the old offense from a couple of years ago. How was it for you?
It was just good to go out there with my team and get a hard, tough win. I thought the O-line was moving their guys a lot, and then I thought me and Jacoby and the rest of the runners were really running the ball with bad intention.
And third quarter, you got the 43-yard run. Just tell us how that play shaped up.
It was a zone play. I pressed it up into the line like Coach Vitti told me to, and then I just kind of jumped out to the B gap, and Jackson Footwoods had a good block on his guy, and then once I hit that gap, it was pretty open, so I just ran as fast as I could, but it wasn't fast enough to get to the end zone, but it was a good play.
And last question, how was it just for you on senior day to be out there with Jacoby and you're working together so well?
It just kind of brought me flashbacks to like the years before. Just like me and him just kind of going back and forth, feeding off each other's energy. That was great for me today.
Thank you.
Tyson, the B-backs returned today, right? For one game at least. Did you guys work that a lot in practice? Did you know it was coming up? I'm sure you didn't just go into the field today and run it, right?
Yeah, I was under the impression that we were going to use it kind of just a little bit, kind of like we did last week. But kind of going into practice towards the end of the week, they started putting me in there more to get more reps. And then we were just going to use it a little bit today, but then it was really working, so we just ran with it.
You haven't carried the ball in a while, right?
Yeah.
So, did that just come naturally for you today? I mean, just being able to do what you were able to do? Or?
Yeah, I mean, in practice, I got a few reps at it, so, I've played football for a while, so hopefully I haven't lost the ability to run the ball. But no, it was a fun day out there.
Just one more, the feeling of getting back into the end zone at home on senior day probably doesn't get any better for you.
Yeah, no, it was super exciting, especially with how that drive was going, just eating up all the clock, just running the ball pretty efficiently, just to cap it off with a little short touchdown run. It was really exciting.
Today was senior day, and you guys, I think, are 9-1 in the Jeff Monken era on senior day. Why do you think you do so well on that?
I would definitely just say that the culture we have. Like all this week, the coaches were, and I remember back to other senior days before this, the coaches always talk about do it for the seniors, like the seniors can't do it alone, and then the team can't do it alone without the seniors. So just the focus on doing your job like better than you would, like doing it for someone else, like that's always a good motivating factor.
Mm-hmm. The offense really seemed to get more confidence as the game went on. What was the feeling out there?
Like just going into that first drive, it was just kind of like see what they're going to line up with, see how they're going to answer with, and I thought we had a bunch of good plays going, and just kind of that momentum of rolling through that throughout the game. Really, just I feel like you could see that emotionally with our team, and that's what gave us the confidence to keep going.
And with you, how did you feel as the game went on?
I definitely, as the game went on, I just kept just feeding off the plays and feeding off the O-line and feeding off just the energy of all my teammates out there, getting pretty excited.
Thank you.
Hi Tyson, Jeff Magrichetti, ENB Magazine. Going into practice this week, did you know you would have an expanded role back in the backfield after spending the past few weeks in more of a receivers and more of a tight ends position?
Not really. We practiced both the under center and the gun stuff this week. It was a lot of tight end, and then like we have tight ends in those formations too. So I was just getting a lot of reps at like maybe like the split receiver or the slot. Not really the B-back, but then kind of towards the end of the week they were putting me back there. So I was getting kind of split reps, but more towards the tight end. So I didn't really know until kind of like yesterday and early today.
Once you got that rhythm back a little bit, once it became clear that you were going to be relied upon the running game, I think you got 2 carries in the red zone on the first drive, the end of that 8-minute drive. What gave you the confidence that you were going to be able to keep up that momentum for the rest of the game?
Just trusting in my O-line, and then Coach Vitti was a really intricate part of like the confidence for me. Last night, just kind of sat me and Jacoby and Markel Johnson down, and we were just going through plays. And he was giving us all the good pointers. So on the first run we had down there in the red zone, he's just like, when you see this look, just get behind your guard and tackle and just let them lead the way for you. And just like remembering those coaching points as you go into every play was crucial.
Final one from me. If you could describe this departing senior class in a word, yourself included, what would it be?
Just tough. I'll give you another word, relentless. Like those guys, I've been with them since prep school, most of them, and then when we came to the academy, just the group of guys. A lot of us played early on, and I've played a lot of football here, and just the chemistry you build with those guys and the friendships and stuff. I'll never forget.
One more, sorry. Do you feel like you're leaving the run game in good hands as you depart?
100%, 100%. You guys have seen Kanye, Markel, Rel, Hayden, all the running backs. They just bring a different. They just all have their own little things they're good at, and I hope me and Jacoby have had a good impression on them on what an Army running back looks like.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Go ahead, Sal.
Tyson, just one more, the kind of scrum run that you had where you just kept on moving the pile. Can you just talk about what that's like being, keeping your feet moving and gaining those yards and keeping that momentum there?
Yeah, just going back to the years I've played football here, Coach Vitti and Coach Powers, just the indie drills where you're running into bags, keeping your shoulder pads low, working on driving your feet. Like we practice all that, those are part of our fundamentals. And just like first guy comes up to you, get your pads low, drive your feet, and then the O-line, they're gonna come and help out. Coach Vitti was actually telling them kind of coming out of halftime, like, hey, when the ball carriers stopped up, like go up there and push them and help them get extra yards. And I just kept driving my feet, and when I could look up, I just tried to keep going, but yeah, it was pretty good.
We'll do 2 on Zoom. Charles, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Tyson, and congratulations on the win today, and obviously outstanding game. You had only 12 carries, if I'm not mistaken, but an impressive 112 yards on the ground with back-to-back carries in the third quarter that actually saw you carry the Coastal Carolina defense with obviously the help of your offensive line. Obviously, you knew that you were getting some reps today. What was your mindset from that perspective, but also knowing that you will be doing so in the traditional triple option offense, and of course doing it as your last game in the Michael Stadium?
Yeah, I was just really focused on kind of letting the game come to me, not going out there and just trying to like do something off schedule or trying to make a play. Everyone else, they want to do their job, they want to follow the plan, and so having those trust in those guys to execute their job really led me to that.
And my final question, you mentioned Coach Vitti. Can you talk about the interaction you were having with him and then, along with the other fullbacks on the sidelines today?
Yeah, it was just when Jacoby was in, he was keeping us locked in, making sure we were watching what the looks of defense were giving us, and the different reads we would make. So when we went in there, we would kind of know what to expect, and just kind of coaching up runs when we come to the sideline and blocks and stuff like that, really keeping us locked in.
Great, thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Last one, Ken McMillan.
Hey, Tyson. Just a question about the philosophy. Obviously, going back to the option football that you're familiar with was easy for you probably because you've been doing it. But just talk about the transition from what you've been running to this, because you've only had a week to really kind of practice it.
Just prior training and throughout my years here, just with Coach V and Coach Powers, like I said, just relying back on those fundamentals I've learned. And kind of if you look at our recent games, we've kind of gone with a more smash mouth in your face, going back to, Air Force and Holy Cross, where we're running the ball a lot more. And I think that's the identity that this team has, and that we need to be successful for the rest of the year.
But the entire unit? The entire unit getting used to this?
I mean, we're definitely a run the ball first team. So just fully embracing that, I feel like we've seen that recently in the last 3 games of us really like committing to the run game. I would definitely say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're all set, Tyson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thanks, Tyson.
Senior and quarterback. We only got one chair.
Coach Munkin's going to want a new chair.
Next up will be Bryson Dailey. Go ahead, Ken.
Bryson, congratulations on a great win today. Just the offense was different today. It was more like what we were used to last year, a couple of years ago. You ran for 360 yards, I think it is, and no passing yards. How did you feel about that?
I felt great. We had some success with it in the game prior, and it worked. And so we thought if we put together a package, Coastal would be ready for it. And it was a great game plan. It was working, so we just stayed in it. But whatever it takes to get a win.
And how was it to get off to another fast start? First drive, you had the ball. You get down, Tyson Riley scores on the 2-yard run.
That was awesome. We always want to put that first one in, give the defense a lead, let them be more confident, and it's hard to tackle Tyson Riley on the goal line.
Then the next drive, second quarter, you had the play where you were down at the 1-yard line, ball came loose, a lot of replays, and it was declared not a fumble. So next play, you go in for the 1-yard touchdown. How did it feel to get the lead at that point?
Yeah, that was great by the O-line. Getting a hold. Brady took over the nose and allowed me to get in the end zone. That was a great call, great drive, and just great for the offense.
And just final question, later in the third quarter, you have a pitch play, Dajon Marshall, after Tyson had run 43 yards, and you get the 18-yard TD off the pitch. You really were doing the pitch play well today.
Yes, sir. It was working well for us. It was a little counter option, get it out to Ijon, and he's a great player. He's done this for years in that style of offense, and he really showed up today, and was a big reason why we won.
Thank you.
So, Bryson, can you just talk about going back to like a little bit more of the triple today and going under center and what that was like for you? I know you put in the practice time, but I mean, what it was like today?
Yeah, we were able to get a good amount of practice in it this week. But honestly, this offense has a ton of guys who have a million banked reps in that type of offense. So that was something that just years in this program, we were ready to do it. And it was really impressive how well guys performed in this new offense today. So that was great to see.
It's kind of new, but it's kind of old, right? I mean, when you guys were practicing this week, did it seem like you guys weren't really missing a beat because of those banked reps? Or?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there was obviously some little things here and there that were that we had to refresh ourselves on, but a lot of guys who play a lot of football and they knew what to do.
Was it fun today, going back to it, or?
It was fun. It was just fun winning. It's fun running the ball down the other team's defense, and it was fun.
Do you think that Coastal was surprised when he came out in that?
I do think they were. Obviously, we hadn't done it a whole lot this year, and we'd only put a few plays under center on film. So I'm sure they practiced some for under center, but I think they were a little surprised.
Kept them off balance for most of the game, or just early on?
Yes, sir. And we planned to go under center until they stopped it, and thankfully they didn't stop it throughout the game. We were able to keep them off their toes and drawing up some plays on the sideline, so that was good.
When did the coaches tell you about this, and how did you feel?
We knew we had a package going into it before the game. We've been working on it for a couple weeks now, and we knew that if we had success early, we might stay in it until it stops working. So.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff Anglichetti, ENB Magazine. Congratulations on the win, first and foremost. To that end, about going back under center today, how does it feel? I know this is probably a distant side effect of it, but how does it feel to give Navy something else to think about 2 weeks before your matchup with them?
Yeah, it's always great have them chasing stuff. Both gun, under center, play actions, anything we're doing. Just having their defense spend more time on stuff like that is always great because we're a versatile offense, and we're going to be able to do whatever needs to be done to get the win in that game.
So this is solid Coastal Carolina defense, and yet you were able to keep them on the field for 39 minutes. What can you say about the way your conditioning, in this case on the offense, kind of helped you guys wear them out a little bit and keep the ball and keep their high-profile offense off the field?
Yeah, we got a lot of tough guys. So those long drives, some we're used to. We've had a few this season. It was really nice seeing how well conditioned guys were because we just got a bunch of tough guys who are going to do what needs to be done to win the game. So that was awesome to see.
You're capping off the quote-unquote regular season on a 3-game winning streak here. So what do you think's been the biggest difference from an offensive standpoint over the past 3 weeks?
Just executing, taking care of the ball. That's really been the big things that have led to these wins. We take care of the ball and execute the plays that coach calls. Like, we're going to win a lot of games, and that's what's happened these past 3 games. So that's been great.
Final one for me, what's the biggest lesson this senior class has taught you as you yourself go into a vital fourth year?
We have great seniors, tough seniors, great leadership. Our 4 captains are awesome, and even beyond them, just guys who lead. And so that's been the biggest thing I've got to see, is just how to lead people, how to be tough, and like what it takes to win football games. They've really showed, especially in these last 3 games. Battling through adversity, because we've had a lot of adversity this year, but just seeing them come to work every single day, no matter what our record is, what happened the game before, that's really what I've seen and learned from them.
Appreciate your time and insight. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Charles on Zoom.
Good afternoon, Bryson, and congrats on the win today. You ran the option very well today. How comfortable did you feel not only running the ball yourself, but the pitch portion of the option, because the pitch execution with yourself, Terrell, and Marshall from their slot position was very successful?
Sure. Yeah, like I said, we have guys who have a lot of banked reps in that style of offense with those plays. And, coaches did a great job of putting us in situations in practice where it showed up very similar to what we saw out there today. So just, the great practice, the banked reps we've had from years prior, it had us feeling really comfortable.
Great. And my follow-up and final question, the offensive blocking on the perimeter from the receivers and slots was very noticeable today. Can you talk about how impactful that was for your success today, but along with the offensive line as well, what their performance?
Yeah, we got tough guys. Receivers, you watch other college games throughout the country. Receivers, just slot backs, running backs, they don't block like our guys block, and that's what makes us different. We have a lot of tough, selfless guys out there. We didn't throw the ball much today, but they blocked their tail off on the perimeter, and that's what allowed a lot of those big runs to go for even farther. So just a lot of selfless guys out there.
Thanks again, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Ken, close us out.
Bryson, just to kind of give us a feel on how different is it running this option offense versus what you've been doing all season?
Oh, there's carryover. You're reading a lot of the same guys. It just happens a little quicker under center. That's probably the biggest thing. But there is a lot of carryover and similar read keys and similar concepts. So it wasn't too much on our plate.
Last thing, just from a sentimental standpoint, what was it like watching Jacoby and Tyson just tear it up like you've seen them do the last 2 years?
Yeah, that was awesome. Taking some load off of me and allowing just handing the ball to those guys and watching them work. I watched them drive piles. That was awesome to see. I'm really happy for those guys, especially them 2 as seniors, to have such big games in this last one at home. That was awesome to see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all set, Bryson.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Bryson.
Next up will be Leo Lowin.
Leo, congratulations on a win on your senior day. What does it mean for you just last game, Mikey Stadium, pull off a solid win like this?
It means everything. One thing I said to the guys before the game, came in with a win against Middle Tennessee back in 2020 and came out with a win against Coastal Carolina. So it's always a good feeling to come out on top. I was just so thankful for all the other guys. Even the underclassmen just played so hard for us, and it was an awesome team win.
I thought, at the end of the first half, you gave up a touchdown pass, 31 yards to Coastal to make it 21-14. Then they get the ball to start the second half, and you stop them on a 3 and out, forcing them to punt. And then Army scores on that one to go out 28-14. How important was it for you to have a good defensive series to start the second half?
Oh, it was huge. Definitely something we were saying in the locker room a lot. Just come out hot and come out, with a stop. I think we played the best in the games. We've come out hot and played really well to start kind of either the half or the game. And we did that again today, and I was really happy the defense would step up after, a drive like that, kind of momentum goes their way at the end of the first half. But then we stepped up and came right back.
The final question for you, just later when it's 28-14, you made a big third down tackle, just really nailed the runner and forced a 4th and 5. They went for it, and Bo Nicholas Paul gets the interception. And tell us about that sequence.
Yeah, awesome plays. Once again, I think our team has done a great job all year. Momentum might be coming their way, but we get down to the goal line, we bow up and make plays. But I think we did a really good job of just spilling those blocks on that third down run and just gave me a free shot at him. And then in that last play, just guys being where they're supposed to be makes it hard on the quarterback, and he's kind of rushed to make a decision. So that's what happened.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Leo, can you talk about Jabril Williams' block return to touchdown and the special teams helping you guys out again today?
Yes, sir, of course. Well, I know Brett Jarena made the block, and he was super pumped about that. And then Jabril Williams obviously shows up again on special teams, and it's just nobody more deserving than both Brett and Jabril. They put in work day in, day out. And, they haven't played a whole lot on defense. Brett has a good amount, but they make the most of their time on the field, and they've really been doing a great job. I'm super happy for those guys.
Sorry. Leo, John Magliuccetti, ENV Magazine. What was the biggest difference in your opinion of how you were able to best Coastal Carolina this time around after giving up 38 last year?
Sure. Obviously, it seemed like they didn't want to run the ball much today, but they had a good passing game, a lot of good players. I think we just came out better prepared. Obviously, last year when we played them, it was the first game of the season, so you're still trying to get your feet under you. And this year, right now, I think our team, our defense is kind of getting into stride a little bit. Obviously, we let up a couple big plays, but if we can limit those, and we had a really good game defensively. So
when an offense gets greedy in the best way possible, holding the ball for 39 minutes of game time, how inspiring and how relieving and refreshing is that for a defense?
That was pretty nice. I think that we looked out there, about 40 minutes of time possession. 39. Yep. So, no, it makes it pretty relaxing on us, I guess. When I think we played like 6 plays in the first quarter, something like that. And just to see those guys, like I know Bryson was talking about Jacoby and Tyson, just run the ball, and Ijan getting big chunks of yards, T-Rob carrying the ball. Super awesome to see them moving the ball like that and just keeping it. It almost gets like, you kind of want to be out there a little more, but I'm super happy that, it worked out.
Final one from me. How would you describe your senior class in one word?
It's hard. Strong. I'd say just strong mentally, strong physically, obviously, but just strong people, strong in their values. We work hard, and I'm just, I'm super, super thankful to be a part of a group like this.
Appreciate your time and insight. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to Zoom. Charles, if you want to go.
Leo, first of all, congratulations on the win today, but also nice hit on second and goal on their 8-yard line, I think it was in the third quarter. Can you talk about that particular play and how gratifying it is, not only to make the tackle, but to hear the buzz from the fans knowing that it was quote-unquote a hit?
Definitely fun just to make a good play. Anytime you make a good play, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I think they were in a Wildcat offense. They were running a lot of G-scheme kind of plays whenever they were in Wildcat. The guard pulled, Caleb spilled it. I think somebody else spilled it or boxed it or something. There was just like perfect, kind of shot. And I just tried to do what the coach has been teaching me. And, it was obviously super fun.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Leo. Ken McMillan from the Times Herald Record. Leo, 2 questions. One, during this 3-game win streak, you've knocked off 2 teams that are very close to contending for conference championships and a Holy Cross team that is obviously one of the best in the FCS. So not only the 3 wins, but the quality opponents that you faced. What does this say about this Army team?
Yeah, I think we've played quality opponents all year this year. We've had a really tough schedule, and obviously went through a little bit of a lull in the middle of the season, but we always, we pride ourselves on finishing, never quitting. And even though, you got a lot of reasons to be down or, stop working hard, we never did. We kept coming back. And at the end of the day, Coach Monken always says it's not about who they are, it's about who we are. And I think we've shown that we can play with anybody. We just got to play to our standard.
And Leo, obviously Grayson McCall, most people thought he wasn't going to play, and he didn't because of the concussion. But there was also talk about Ethan Vasco playing. So what was it like having Jarrett Guest go out there, and what do you think of the job he did?
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good quarterback. I know we played Grayson McCall last year. He's a really good quarterback too. I think we were just kind of preparing for whatever came our way. I think he did a good job. They passed the ball a lot, so obviously I have some trust in him. But I think, we just played well and, went how it went.
Thank you, Leo.
Sure, thank you.
I think you're on it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Leo. Congrats.
Thanks, Leo. Congratulations.